That's what I was saying. You are alive. In at Barney's. Good afternoon. Good afternoon. Today is August 19th, 2025, 6 p.m. Welcome to the Griffin-Spalding County Schools Board of Education General Body Meeting. Please place all electronic cellular communication devices on silent or vibrate. Yes, that means you too. Here we go. Turn it down from there. All right, now we have our roll call. When your district is called, please signify by being present. District 1, present. District 2,
Present.
District 3, District 4, and District 5. All right, we have a quorum. Our pledge will be led by two amazing scholars that we have with us today. Please come up, twins. They are Gianna and Corin. They are fifth graders at Moreland Road Elementary School. Let's give them a hand. And a little special thing about the twins, they are Mrs. Ray, niece and nephew. So we're excited, Gianna and Corin, to have you to lead our pledge today. And then our prayer will be led by the gentleman of the 3rd District, Mr. Holmes.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Father God, we come once more and again just to say thank you for another day that you allowed us to be here. We ask right now, Father God, that you cover us, lead, guide, and direct us. And this we ask in your Son, Jesus' name. Let everyone say amen.
Amen. Let's give Corin and Gianna another round of applause. Scholars at Moreland Road Elementary School, where the proud principal is Miss Nikki Gore. They are our school spotlight, and so we will call them up at another time to present that. All right, on the screen, Mr. Lunny, can you do our norms and protocols? All right, so we are in quarter 3, and our words we're focusing on are consistency, accountability, and excellence. Georgia School Board Association has helped us to rewrite and update our norms and protocols. We had a meeting the day that the teachers went back to school. At the assembly, we had a meeting over at GRCCA where we worked with Georgia School Board Association. And we also have representatives from their superintendent search and board development department here, which you'll hear from them later on. And so those words are consistency, accountability, and excellence. Next up, we'll have the Griffin-Spalding County School Spotlight, which is Moreland Road Elementary. Moreland Road Elementary has 437 scholars. What is your school mascot? The Mighty Mustangs. How many faculty and staff members work at your school? 71. A quote from the principal on why you love being the proud principal of the school. I am thrilled to be the proud principal of Moreland Road Elementary because it's a place where scholars are challenged to grow academically, socially, and emotionally. We are a place that develops leaders who work hard and who make a difference in their community. Moreland Road is an amazing place with a strong staff that is dedicated to helping our scholars achieve greatness. I am so blessed to lead this extraordinary school. What good things are going on at the school socially and educationally? At Moreland Road Elementary, we are proud of our Leader in Me program. Our scholars and staff practice 7 habits daily. Our scholars earn brag tags as they exhibit the habits, include being proactive, thinking win-win, and synergizing. This year, we will continue to engage in service learning projects as a part of our Leader in Me program. Last year, our scholars made appreciation cards and brought cookies to the Spalding County Sheriff's Department, took gifts and spread Christmas cheer at the Brightmoor Nursing Home, and made cards to take to the Spalding County Fire Department. Our 3rd graders led a school-wide recycling drive. Let's give it up for Moreland Road Elementary School and the amazing things that are going on. Educationally, our scholars have come out of the gate strong with 8 scholars being inducted into the 5-Point Club for AR in the first 10 days of school. We are excited to dig into our already beginning of the year data to see how our scholars are growing. We have a new visual arts class at MRE for our scholars to explore. Our scholars are able to meet weekly for class counseling this year to help promote their social emotional growth. We are looking forward to an amazing 25-26 school year. Things are going great at MRE. What is the school doing to promote diversity, inclusion, and equity among scholars, family, and staff? Moreland Road Elementary promotes a positive learning environment where all scholars are welcome. Each day, our Mustangs recite the Mustang Pledge as a reminder how we are to treat one another. Our Mustang Pledge states that we promise to protect each other's bodies, feelings, property, and right to learn. Our Mustangs exemplify this pledge in their interactions with one another and with their teachers. We honor our Mustangs of the month each month during the Mustang Stampede and breakfast. Our families enjoy coming to this event and cheering on their scholars. Service learning is another example of how we are reaching out to actively engage in our community while developing leadership skills and a deeper understanding for social issues. We want our scholars to make a positive impact in our community. Each month, our students partner with a buddy class for reading buddies. During this time, our older scholars read to the younger students and help them take AR quizzes. They also work with their buddy class to promote accountability with reviewing student portfolio data and to promote academic growth. We are thankful for all of our scholars, families, community supporters, and staff members that help and shape the mighty Mustang leaders. Boys and girls, children of all ages, please, let's give it up for Moreland Road Elementary School, our school spotlight. Moreland Road is in District 3, so Leader Holmes will give some remarks and present the certificate. All right. Join us at the Step and Repeat if we have any parents, faculty, staff members. Join us over at the Step and Repeat. Jody Cantrell. And our system-wide teacher of the year is right here as well. Leader Holmes said that Moreland Road, they are on the TI bus. Bring them out, bring them out. They brought a crowd out today. Thank y'all so much for coming and receiving your school spotlight. All right, our next item on the agenda is school system announcements. The gentleman from the 3rd District, Mr. Holmes.
Mr. Chair, I have an assistant tonight, and she will be paid afterwards by Mr. Stansberry, assistant principal at Spalding High. But we have none other than Lawson Stansberry. She's a 8th grader at Spalding High School. Activity.
Junior.
Pardon me?
Junior.
I said 11.
Oh.
That's that southern, that real southern dialect. Tell Lawson, I know you very well, so I know, right? She's a junior at Spalding High School. Her activities: senior company member at Griffin Ballet Theater, Spalding High School swim team, and a volunteer at Community Church of Griffin. The club that she participates in is Fellowship of Christian Athletes, HOSA, Beta Club, Key Club, Science Club, Junior Club, VFW Club. I'm sorry. Her major going to college is biology, and her college choice of interest is none other than the University of Georgia. I present to you Lawson Stanberry. Take it away, Lawson.
Process. The announcements for the August 19th, 2025 Board of Education meeting are as follows. Tuesday, August 26, 2025, there will be a Griffin-Spalding County Board of Education called board meeting here in the boardroom at 216 South 6th Street at 6 p.m. Griffin-Spalding schools will be closed Monday, September 1st, 2025, in observance of Labor Day. On Tuesday, September 9th, 2025, there will be a Griffin-Spalding County Board of Education retreat beginning at 8 a.m. Tuesday, September 23rd, 2025 will be the next Board of Education meeting at 216 South 6th Street, Griffin, Georgia 30224 at 6 p.m. Governance team, cabinet members, and stakeholders, this concludes the Board of Education announcements for August 19th, 2025.
Let's give our scholars another round of applause. Ms. Perry, it looks like you are involved in every club and organization that they have. We greatly appreciate your involvement and engagement. All right, next up we have the adoption of the agenda. Before we adopt the agenda, we'd like to make a motion that we remove the following item, lobbyist contract, and that we put executive session. We're going to have two executive sessions. The first executive session that we're going to do will be after we take a break and allow our guests to leave. So after public comments and we get ready to go into break, the board will go into executive session to discuss and deliberate upon the appointment of employment and personnel. I made the motion. Is there a second?
I second.
All right, it's been properly moved by Chairman Brown, seconded by Ms. Register of the second. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor, please vote by raising your right hand. 5-0, 5-0. All right. Now we'll go to recognitions from the gentle lady from the 5th District, Ms. McDonald.
Brown, I just wanted to recognize Elizabeth Hill, our board attorney, that she's, we don't really know where she's been, but we're glad she's here tonight. Thanks, Elizabeth. We had to give her a brief. So it's nice seeing your face, Elizabeth. I'm glad you're here. That concludes my announcements, Mr. Brown. I don't have any on my agenda. I guess Dr. Barnes is standing there for some reason. I didn't get an updated agenda. I didn't get it.
All right, Dr. Barnes is going to present on the AP programs. Go ahead, Dr. Barnes.
Good evening, distinguished board members and Dr. Warren. Every fall, the AP program recognizes high school students who have demonstrated outstanding college-level achievement through their performances on multiple AP exams. AP Scholar Awards come in different levels and types. The AP Scholar Award is granted to students who receive scores of 3 or higher on 3 or more AP exams. The AP Scholar with Honor Award is granted to students who receive an average score of at least 3.25 on all AP exams taken and a score of 3 or higher on 4 or more of these exams. The AP Scholar Award with Distinction is given to students who earn an average score of at least 3.5 on all AP exams taken and score 3 or higher on 5 or more of these exams. Tonight, we would like to honor 9 students who have earned the AP Scholar Award. Our first one that's here tonight is Emma Carlton, AP Scholar. Emma, if you'll come over, I have a certificate for you.
Emma, if you would, get the certificate from Dr. Barnes, and then you can shake our hand as you go to the step and repeat.
Tonight, we also have Lawson Stansberry, who has the AP Scholar with Distinction Award. The others were not able to make it tonight, but we have Jafar Ahmed, AP Scholar, John Blaylock, AP Scholar, Annalie Kelly, AP Scholar, Caton Skelton, AP Scholar, Henry Aldrich, AP Scholar with Honor, Sam Godet, AP Scholar with Honor, and Anna Foster, AP Scholar with Distinction. Thank you.
Let's give our scholars another round of applause. Truly appreciate the work that they are doing and the recognition that we are getting from our AP program. And Dr. Barnes, thank you for your hard work as well in teaching and learning. All right, Ms. Ray, we have anybody sign up for public comments? All right, there are no public comments. We are going to allow our guests to take a break and leave. At this time, can I get a motion to go into executive session to discuss and deliberate upon the appointment of personnel? So moved.
Second.
It's been properly moved and seconded by Ms. McDonald and Ms. Register. All those in favor, vote by raising your right hand. 5-0, the board is in executive session. And our guests can leave at this time if they want to. back from executive session. Pull up my agenda. All right. Now it's time for the consent agenda items. What is the pleasure of this body as it relates to the consent agenda? It's been properly moved by Ms. McDonald of the 5th. Is there a second? Seconded by Ms. Weldon of the 4th. Is there any discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor, please vote by raising your right hand. 5-0. All right, action items. Revisions to estimated bid amounts. Mr. Robert Wheeler.
Greetings, Chairman Brown, board members, Dr. Warren. The vendors that supply food and supplies and services to Griffin-Spalding County Schools in 25 all renew their contracts for 2026. After review of expenses from 2025, a revision is requested to the estimated amounts of the bids. Thomas Milk Company, you can see the changes there on those bids. Milk prices have gone up. Royal Produce, we're using more DOD dollars instead of purchasing directly from Royal, so that went down. U.S. Foods, same difference there. Bread, we're doing more types of sandwiches on our menus and so forth. And with Dave Paper Company, we've changed the way we're serving certain parts. We're serving directly to trays. It is at this time, it's a $500,000 difference, roughly. It is at this time that the interim superintendent recommends that the revisions to these estimated amounts of each bid be approved for school year 25-26.
All right, thank you so much, Mr. Wheeler. Board members, we have read the summary and heard the report from Mr. Wheeler. What is the pleasure of this body as it relates to the approval of revisions of the estimated bid amounts? Is there a second? All right. It's been moved by Ms. McDonald of the 5th, seconded by Ms. Weldon of the 4th. Is there any discussion or any questions? All right. I got it. Mr. Holmes?
Mr. Wheeler, I'm probably already know the answer to my question. Did they revise their bids because of?
Yeah. So what you have there is the estimated monies that we'll spend
Right.
on those different bids. So the prices have changed.
Have changed.
They've gone up, yes.
Okay. All right. Thank you, sir.
All right, Ms. McDonald?
Thank you, Mr. Brown. Thank you, Mr. Wheeler. I've just got a question about the milk. Have you ever, in your tenure, I know you've done this a long time, not only here but throughout the state, have you ever seen a jump in milk products with regard to $350,000?
This is also based on usage. Milk has gone up. It was about 42 cents a carton now. So we had to increase the price. Our individual selling price of milk is up to 75 cents. But yeah, this is pretty much in line with about a 10 to 12% increase over all things that we're doing. I know that's more than 10, 12% there. That's a lot more, but of course our participation has, and the kids are drinking the milk. So
Sure.
So it's gonna, our prices will constantly rise in these
So
different areas.
what you see here is what all of us in this room see in our grocery stores we go to, so, thank
Yeah,
you.
and that's one of those items you cannot, you gotta have milk for every child.
Sure. Thank you so much. Thank you, Mr. Brown.
All right, are there any other questions? All right, ready for the vote? District 1, yes. District 2? District 3? District 4? District 5? Yes. Thank you. Next up is Project Strong Contracted Service. Mr. Charles, I'm sorry, Dr. Chris Ridley. How are you, Dr. Ridley?
Hello, everyone.
I feel like you've been in witness protection too.
We'll say you grew some hair.
Got it all cut off. Good evening, Mr. Brown, board members, and Dr. Warren. We are seeking board approval for contracted services with the mergers and the Stepping Stones Group to staff teacher and behavior support positions for the Project Strong program. The projected cost for these services is $1,100,000, which will be funded through the approved Intensive Behavior Supports General Fund allotment. In order to ensure appropriate staffing and launch the other program for the 25-26 school year, the district has identified the need to contract with outside agencies to fill critical teacher, behavior technician, and other behavior support roles. It is recommended that the Board of Education approve contracted services with the Mergers and the Stepping Stones Group in an amount not to exceed $1,100,000 to support the staffing of Project Strong with funding from the approved Intensive Behavior Supports General Fund.
Thank you so much, board members. We have read the summary and the report from Dr. Chris Ridley, our Executive Director of Student Support Services. What is the pleasure of this body as it relates to this item? Okay, so you would like to make a motion? All right, turn your microphone on. Come on, Ms. Weldon.
Motion to approve.
Thank you so much. It's been properly moved by Ms. Weldon of the 4th. Is there a second? Seconded by Ms. McDonald of the 5th. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, vote by raising your right hand. 5-0. Thank you so much. Item approved. Next up, everyday report substitutes. Oh, coming from my freshman English teacher at Griffin High School in 2001, Miss Dr. Stephanie Evans. Welcome.
Thank you. Good evening, Chairman Brown, board members, and Dr. Warren. We are seeking approval for everyday report subs. It has been determined that it will be beneficial to extend the use of everyday subs for the 25-26 school year. It is recommended that the Board of Education approve utilizing this spur feature to obtain everyday substitutes for Atkinson Elementary, Orrs Elementary, Moore Elementary, Griffin High, Ann Street, and Cowan Road Middle School beginning September 2nd, 2025, payable from general funds not to exceed the amount of $135,000.
All right, members of the board, we have heard the presentation. Are there any questions for Dr. Evans? All right, Ms. McDonald the 5th, you're recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Brown. Hey, Dr. Evans.
Hello.
I just got a question about the recommendation just for, those are the UVA schools, is that correct?
Yes, those are the UVA schools. We have added Ann Street this year, but those are the 5 UVA schools.
Okay,
yeah.
so why is it only limited to the UVA schools?
It has been determined that they needed additional support. So sometimes they may have teachers that are not reporting, so we want to make sure that there's coverage at those schools because they are in need of additional support. So we don't want to interrupt instruction.
I thought, when I looked at the amount of only $135,000, I thought that was pretty low.
Yeah.
Considering, I mean, I don't have anything to compare that to, obviously, but I just felt like the figure was kind of low.
It's the same salary that they had last year.
Okay,
So it's
all right.
the daily salary, so 104 a day.
Okay, all right. Thank you so much. Thank you, Mr. Brown.
So is this like a pool of people that are just automatically go to those schools? And so if a teacher is out, they're already covered?
Exactly.
And so they're receiving the same amount that they would receive on a daily rate from Spur?
Exactly.
Okay, all right. All right, members, are there any other questions for Dr. Evans? All right, hearing none, I'd like to make a motion to approve. Is there a second? All right, second by Ms. McDonald the 5th. All those in favor, vote by raising your right hand. 5-0. Next up, we have presentation and discussions, GSBA Superintendent Search, Dr. Sam King and Ms. Ramona Tyson.
Hey, greetings, Mr. Chairman, members of the board. We'd like to give a brief update on the status of the Griffin-Spalding County Superintendent Search. I'd like to quickly remind the board that we initiated the process in June 2025 with a timeline that was drafted and proposed, and it reflected board member need to complete qualifications survey. So you completed a research-based survey in June. Following that, there was a submittal of a draft announcement to the board during the month of July. The board had an opportunity to review that, check for the alignment to the results of your research-based survey, take a look at the required and preferred qualities and attributes that are reflected in the profile, and then ultimately approve that announcement. As a result of that, the announcement approval process needed action, and that was slated for July 2025 also. That moved us to the green light of posting the announcement. And as those items transpired, we were able to move forward and post the search nationally, locally, on the website, and then several other entities as far as AASA, topjobs.com, national affiliate of superintendent searches, of course, within the state and on all the other platforms as well. And this is a virtual application, so it goes national. And that was done and initiated as of July 30th, 2025. So we are now in the midst of the receipt of applications. What is happening at this point is that candidates are taking advantage of the opportunity to review the document that you approved, to take a look at the description of Griffin-Spalding, its strategic plan, the budget, the size of the district, and all of the pertinent, relevant attributes that describe Griffin-Spalding. And then the candidates are determining if they feel that they are a good fit for submitting an application. So we're about 2 weeks into that process, and we have another 2 solid weeks for that to continue. As of 11:59, August 31st, in the adjusted timeline, that's when the applications would close. So another 2 weeks. And I want to remind the board and the community that at that point, the GSBA staff would anticipate about 2 weeks rule of thumb needed forward from August 31st for a comprehensive review of those documents and analysis and evaluation of the application packets. So it's going to take a couple of weeks following August 31st for that to happen, to vet the level of performance and outcomes for all of the candidates. Once that is complete, we'll be reaching out to the board to schedule time for executive session to come and present to the board all of the candidates. All of the candidates that complete the process will be presented to the board. As we mentioned months back, those candidates will be grouped into Group 1, Group 2, Group 3, Group 4, et cetera, reflecting those that are coming closest to for your stakeholders to give you input and feedback on what the community and internal, external stakeholders feel you should be taking into consideration as you move into the interview process and select candidates. So this quick survey, 10 items or less, will allow the community to give anonymous feedback to the board. We'll control that. We'll do an analysis and report it back to the board with a summary report that you can also post on your website so that your stakeholders can see that you've heard them. And they can also see an analysis of what those results were in terms of what they've said you should be looking for. It will also be distributed and analyzed in terms of, also differentiated in terms of whether they're parents, whether they're employees, whether they're business owners, et cetera. We won't know the names of those individuals, but they will identify themselves as one of those categories, one or more of those categories. So that is forthcoming as well at the pleasure of the board. Once we again reach that interview stage, we anticipate that will be around, of course, the month of September. That will be an executive session. And I would just close by reminding the board that finalists are announced probably in around October. And remember that there is a 14-day waiting period after finalists are announced before the board can move forward to announce a permanent choice. At the point that finalists are announced, a wealth of information will go forward to the public for the public's review during that 14-day period. So we anticipate that to be during the month of October leading into November. And definitive about that once we come to you after the close of the application receipt to update this timeline. With that, I'll pause and entertain any questions and also defer to Ms. Tyson to see if I missed anything.
All right, members of the board, we've heard the presentation from Dr. King. Are there any questions that you have for him as it relates to this process? All right, the gentleman of the 3rd District, you're recognized.
Greeting, Dr. King. I just had two questions. I guess you already got your questions ready to pull the trigger for community survey.
Yes.
Okay. Can we get an updated schedule? Oh,
The timeline that I just
Timeline,
mentioned?
yes.
Absolutely. I can send you all a copy of this. I can send it to the board chair, and chair can share it with the remainder of the board.
okay. Thank you,
Yes.
sir.
I can do that. Yes?
It's for Dr. King. All right, the gentlelady of the fifth.
Thank you, Mr. Brown. Dr. King and Ms. Tyson, I just wanted to thank you both for coming down today to visit and bring us up to speed on the process, which is quite interesting. And I just wanted to say thank you. Thank you.
A pleasure. Happy to support.
Any other discussion on this item? All right, thank you so much, Dr. King. Next up, policy IFBG, internet acceptable use. First read, Mr. Lonnie Harper.
Good afternoon, Board, Dr. Warren, Chairman Brown. The district is presenting policy IFBG, Internet Acceptable Use, for first reading. I know we actually approved this policy last year, but these revisions are based on Georgia Senate Bill 351. So all the changes have reflecting what's now required from that bill. So the district will post policy IFBG, Internet Acceptable Use, on Assembly to receive input from board members and stakeholders for 30 days. Afterwards, the policy will be brought back to the board for a second reading, approval, and final adoption.
Harper, ladies and gentlemen, we have heard the presentation. Are there any questions for Mr. Harper? All right, thank you so much. Next up, back to school update coming from our executive officers, Mr. Chris Loki, Ms. Lindy Pruitt, and Mr. Antoine Sanders.
Good evening, Chairman Brown, board members, and Interim Superintendent Dr. Warren. Thank you for this opportunity to provide our opening schools update. This year, our work continues to be anchored in our non-negotiables: being professional, be accountable, be accountable, and communicate effectively. Our focus areas: literacy, enrollment, attendance, discipline, and problem solving will guide our decision-making, resource allocation, and daily actions. Tonight, we will highlight early success, share important operational and instructional updates, and be transparent about our challenges we are actively addressing. Now, Mr. Loki will share our mission and vision.
Good afternoon. Our mission is clear, to empower each student to graduate college and career ready. Our vision is distinctive brands, strong leaders, great schools, and it's more than just a slogan. It's a shared commitment that drives our work in every school, every day. On our roadmap to success this afternoon, we will be referencing student achievement, family and community engagement, high-performing staff, and organizational and operational efficiency. Next, we'll have Ms. Pruitt, and she will provide an update on enrollment.
All right, so in front of you, you actually have a bar graph. Then the first two sets of bars at the top are day 1 and day 2 enrollment, what that looked like. And if you look at the third one, it is actually this past August the 15th, which was Friday, our last enrollment. You'll notice the red and the blue. The blue is last year's data, where we had data available, so you can compare it to last year. So the red is the current year. And then at the very bottom, you can see total enrollment, the blue again being last year, and the bottom being this year. What we did, however, note, though, even though we are a little off on the enrollment right now, we did see if it trends like it did last year, our enrollment did improve after the first days of school. So we're looking and hoping that that's going to continue to follow that trend. Okay, and this data in front of you is average daily attendance. So as of August the 15th, that again is this past Friday. This is our district-wide attendance averaging around 93.65% overall. And then you can see a breakdown for elementary, which is at 93.14%, and secondary at 92.9%. Early attendance trends are so critical because they set expectations for students and families from the very beginning. We will continue targeted outreach to ensure students are present and engaged, particularly in grades where attendance has historically, and I just touched that, particularly in grades where attendance has historically been a challenge. I think it's important to note that attendance is not just an issue for Griffin-Spalding. It is an issue across the state. Recently passed was Senate Bill 123, dealing with chronic absenteeism, and this will require the community to get involved. I think it's the Chief Justice will have to put together an attendance committee to cooperate and work with the school system along with local enforcement, because it's a community issue. And so this bill will require that, so there won't be a choice. So it's not just a Griffin-Spalding problem, it's a statewide issue. So I think that's important to note. So at this time, Mr. Sanders will now share some exciting new items we've implemented for this coming year.
Yes, the gentleman of the third, you're recognized. Mr. Holmes, can you turn your microphone on? And can you start over?
Communication come out of the DOE, or at least I did, where they were emphasizing to parents that the first day of school that was going to start about attendance. You know how some people wait to 3 or 4 days before they send their kids. Was that part of to address the daily attendance?
Yes, so what we do know historically is that if students are not coming on the first day, that's setting up a pattern of not coming to school. And so, of course, the DOE is now recognizing that we've got to help schools emphasize this. So they are pushing, again, with this committee through Senate Bill 123 that's got to include not only people from the school system, law enforcement, but also educators, parents, and community members have to be a part of that. It's very specific about who has to be a part. So I do think they're pushing parents. You know, we have compulsory attendance, which says it's more about truancy, and that's, if you're unexcused absences. But this is about kids who are missing school, excused and unexcused over time, because sometimes the parents have the forethought that, I can take vacation even though it's not spring break. And so all absences count because kids are missing instruction. And that's what the state is pushing very hard towards parents, that let's set the precedence that coming to school is important, that your child comes, you set that precedent at home, and then and that sets the stage for the coming year. So the DOE is working real hard to get that news out and get parents aware that their actions impact, because we know that until they turn 16, they rely solely on either the parents getting them to school or the transportation of the school system. We're there to pick them up, but if parents are bringing them, we can't control it. Definitely need parents on board.
So we have several points to celebrate this year. Open gate security systems were rolled out in all middle and high schools. While few adjustments were necessary, most schools experienced minimum disruption. We expect operations to become even smoother as students and staff become more accustomed. A special acknowledgement to Mr. Atkins, our security officer at Crescent Elementary, for his outstanding vigilance and proactive approach. He's setting the standard for school safety. This summer, eSPLOS funded renovations were completed at 5 schools and the central office, with additional upgrades at GRCCA, Future Road, Moreland Road, and Spalding High Schools. All sites were ready for open house and first day of school. Additional safety measures and operational updates include book bag policies, enhanced elementary security, and updated electronic device guidelines. Now Mr. Loki will share a few highlights from the first day across the district.
All right, we have more celebrations here. Day one in the district began as a District 1 event with Chairman Centel Brown and evolved into a district-wide event that saw more than 260 participants this year. Our first day across the district was marked with energy, excitement, and preparedness. We also launched the district discount card that you'll see in the center of the screen there. That's a new initiative to strengthen school and community connections. We want to say thank you to Mr. Adam Pugh, Ms. Laura Beaver, and local businesses for your assistance in this endeavor. Feedback from parents, students, and staff has been overwhelmingly positive, setting a strong tone for the year ahead. Now we'll have Ms. Pruitt, and she'll provide updates on instructional initiatives.
Well, in the past, we've had our math standards rolling out, so this year our English standards. Woohoo, we're excited about that. Dr. Greer and her team, they are rolling out training, helping to prepare teachers as they go in with not only just the new standards themselves, but also the resources as they're shifting to align with the new standards. So a lot of support going out from Dr. Greer and her team. We also have GRCCA. Their initiative this year, aligned along with the state, is the High Demand Career Initiative. This is a strengthening business partnerships to give students more career opportunities. So we're super excited about that. We also have the Middle School Acceleration Pathway Program, which enables students to earn high school credits in middle school. And while we've done that in the past, we're trying to increase those opportunities for students to take more high school credits. So that's certainly an exciting opportunity, as we know that we have students ready to do that. The next thing that's pretty exciting is we have capstone projects for the gifted and honor students in our middle schools, and which is an in-depth learning experience to develop critical thinking, problem solving, and creativity. So it's really upping the rigor for students to prepare them as they go to high school. These initiatives align directly with our mission to prepare students for success beyond high school. Super excited. And as of last night, we also had night school starting at GRCCA. So we're super excited about that has come back. That was part of my high school, so it's back. So that's super exciting. So now we're going to transition to Mr. Loki, who will share some operational data highlights from our first week.
All right, our operational data from the first week tells a strong story, and we'll go through this. Average breakfast count after the first week is 3,869 students served per day, and the lunch count is 6,272 students served. Also this year, each school will have a wellness committee in place. This committee promotes school nutrition, fitness, and well-being for students and staff. Some other highlights that we have is transportation. District transportation reach, we are currently transporting 59% of our district student population compared to the state average of 51% in Georgia. And I want you to look closely at the numbers that we have next in front of us. On-time arrivals improved this year. Day one, we were at 90%, and day two, we were at 92% in transportation. Last year, in the 24-25 school year, day one, we were at 67%, and day two at 75%. So let's give them a round of applause for that improvement there. Daily service volume, our team safely transported approximately 5,900 students daily, with approximately 300 being special needs students requiring curb-to-curb pickup, which exceeds the state's optimal capacity targets. And also, shout out to our bus drivers. Bus driver attendance on day one was 100%, and day two was 99%. Yes, we can clap for that. And we had 0 accidents and 0 no-start buses. These numbers reflect a strong start in both service and safety. Next, we'll have Mr. Sanders. He'll come now to address some of the challenges we're working to overcome.
So while we celebrate successes, we're also addressing some early year challenges. Contracted transitions have impacted some services. Groundskeeping, and summer renovations were delayed due to compressed timelines. Air conditioning issues have been a concern in few buildings. Staff vacancies remain at 17 certified and 66 classified. We are actively recruiting and prioritizing maintenance to ensure minimum impact on students and staff. And so at this time, we would like to show a short video that was created by our communications department on day one in the district.
In closing, we've just had a strong start to this school year, and thanks to the dedication of our teachers, staff, and community partners. We also want to thank Central Office, too, who worked really hard this year to really close gaps from the start of last year to this year, and we saw just a great increase in a lot of things, and we're super excited. So a lot of hard work going in prior to school starting. So thank you to Central Office as well. We will continue to focus on our mission, uphold our non-negotiables, and address challenges with transparency and urgency. We welcome your questions and look forward to your continued support as we work together to make this a great year for Griffin-Spalding County Schools.
Thank you. So let's give our executive officer a round of applause. All right, members of the body, do we have any questions for our executive officers as it relates to their presentation, or if you just want to say anything? No? Thank you. All right, next up, our Georgia Milestone Spring Results 2025. Our Ms. Tracy Sims, our newest Executive Director of Teaching and Learning.
Good evening, board members and Dr. Warren. That's a hard act to follow. I don't have a cute video like that. But y'all did a great job. So tonight, the purpose of this presentation is to highlight the results of our spring milestones, look at some of our highlights, look at some of our challenges. Of course, our work is going to be anchored in our non-negotiables and our focus areas. This work supports our mission and vision. The purpose of the presentation is to highlight our milestones, highlight student performance in our content areas, and share our next steps for improvement. So this first slide, you're looking at, this is overall, grades 3 through 8. I want you to be able to see the bottom of ELA just by our grade levels. The one thing you'll note is we're kind of flat in our growth rate here. Our top is 30%, and you can look at the bottom and see our 2024 results. We had minimal gains, with 6th grade kind of being our highlight as far as ELA. Now, granted, this is for the whole district. Here you're going to see the same results for math. Now, one thing to note when you're looking at math is that every grade level improved, with 8th grade improving double digits at that 10%. Now, we're still not where we want to be. This is still not, 34% is our top, is not our goal, but we can see that we are trending in the right direction. Here you're going to see for the district, science and social studies for 5th grade and 8th grade. And again, that 9% in 8th grade, that is a 3% gain, but again, that's science and that's social studies. While gains, they're minimal and certainly not where we want those to be. Here you've got your end of course high school. Again, at the bottom, what they had in 2024. Again, these are minimal gains, not where we want to be, but still trending in some areas in the right direction. This slide, you have your Lexile performance, and what's interesting here is you will see we had much higher gains in Lexiles. So the question is, why would this not translate over to our ELA proficiency? So that is something we're going to have to research and kind of target. If our students are growing in their reading ability at being on grade level, why are we not seeing that translation in our ELA scores? But note here the strength of 5th grade at a gain of 7, 6th grade at a gain of 8. So based on last year, we should see, based on this data, that there should be stronger performance in 6th grade ELA this year and 7th grade ELA. All right, here we're going to move into individual school results. Now, what you see in your first column is what they actually made, and then what you see in the second column where it's colored, you'll see if they made a gain from last year to this year. So these are your ELAs. Wanted to note some of the double-digit gains. If you look at Crescent, look at Atkinson, one of our designated schools, 5th grade, up 12 points. Also notice Moore trending in green, which Moore has traditionally been one of our lowest performing schools, so to see that trending in a positive way is moving in the right direction. Minimal gains, not where we want to be, but again, trending in the right direction. Here you've got your middle schools. Notice a 10% gain for 8th grade at Rehoboth, but also notice that minus 14 loss in 8th grade at Carver. Here you've got math, and you will note that there was more progress in math, particularly looking at some of our designated schools. Ann Street, +8 in 3rd and 5th. Atkinson, again, with a gain of 26 points in their 4th grade math, 10% in 5th grade math. And then Moore, again, trending all the way across in all grade levels, which has not been a pattern for them in the past, so something that we should really celebrate the work's going on at Moore Elementary. And then in these schools, I wanted to note that our UVA schools all made progress. in either math or ELA, some in both. We saw improvements, and then it's anticipated for Griffin to have a higher graduation rate. So UVA schools did show progress. Here you have your middle schools, and to note all middle schools increased in math. 7th grade, we need to research what that dip was, but if you look at 6th and 8th grade, all of the middle schools improved. Rehoboth Road, 25% gain in 8th grade. Here we've got 5th grade science. Again, it's noted there are some losses. Cowan Road Elementary School at a loss of 14. Crescent at a gain of 16 and Futrell at a gain of 13, but then Jackson Road at a loss of 17. So definitely some investigation into science. Here's your middle school. Again, Rehoboth Road kind of knocking it out of the park in those double-digit gains for their science and their social studies in 8th grade. Here you've got high school. Notice we're kind of flat at Griffin High School. Some minimal losses, and then also some minimal gains at Spalding High, but they did get over 26% for their U.S. history and at 25% for their American Lit. So that's your individual school data. Now, to note that this only highlighted proficient and above. We also have the data for beginning, developing, proficient, and distinguished. It was a lot to put in one presentation. I wouldn't mind coming back, for a treat and going a little bit deeper in it, but we did have some gains where we moved kids out of beginning to developing. So they were minimal, but we did see that in several schools, and of course, every kid we move out of beginning, that child's growing and showing progress, which reflects great on the school, but will also give us points on CCRPI. So there was growth beyond what you're seeing here. All right, so when you look at the strengths and celebrations, that 5th grade was the highest. Now 30%, again, not our target, but a growth. Again, math in 8th grade at 34. Those are gross that we can celebrate. 5th grade, that Lexile at 64%. We need to look at how we can support that so we can transfer that growth as those students are now 6th graders in the middle school. Positive growth more so in our upper elementary. All grade levels improving in math. CSI designated schools improving in math, which has not been a trend for us, so that was exciting to see. Again, when we say positive gains, we know we're not where we want to be, but we're trending in the right direction. I'm particularly proud of Moore. Crescent, shining star with reflects over 50% proficiency in ELA. And then just some other highlights to note where schools had double-digit gains. All right, so you've seen the data. Obviously, we got some things to celebrate, but we also have a lot of work to do. We're not where we want to be. So some areas that we really need to target based on this data is our low science proficiency, particularly that 8th grade, 9% proficiency. Social studies at 19% proficiency. Our ELA in 3rd and 5th grade being below 20%, and math proficiency under 25 for 6th and 7th. In this data, it shows that we've got to improve Tier 1 instruction in all subjects for all schools. We also need to increase our data analysis so that our instruction and our planning are driving towards the areas that we are trying to target, and that we're not just teaching to where the kids do not need. So here are some next steps. Of course, we're going to have targeted professional learning in all of our content areas. Just to give you an idea of some of the things that we're going to be working on as a district with XOs, content coordinators, my team. The targeted professional learning for ELA, we are definitely going to be targeting phonological awareness. The new ELA standards are going to take a lot of our time for PL and ELA, and then there's going to be increased focus on writing in the middle schools. That's something that really showed in our scores that we needed support in. In social studies, we're going to be working with schools. Dr. Fields has been meeting with schools to kind of plan where their data is and what supports they need. Math, we're going to be targeting math fluency. CRA, concrete representational abstract, and using data to drive our small group instruction. And we'll also strengthen teacher capacity. Sometimes the problem is not the students, but maybe the teacher having content knowledge gaps or the student also having learning gaps. So we need to bridge those gaps. And then we're going to focus on utilizing leadership teams this year. Sometimes our schools have leadership team meetings, but they don't really use them to the advantage of increasing student achievement. So our XOs and our team are going to work with data analysis, teaching them how to use data, delegate those roles across the school, and then taking that data back to actually use it when they plan. And then we'll also be doing the DM breakthrough coaching again. And then this is the website where you can get any type of data you want. It goes back 2 or 3 years. It's on the DOE website. So that is a quick overview kind of proficient and above and what our next steps are. Have questions?
All right, board members, we have heard. First of all, let's give Ms. Sims a round of applause.
Thank you.
We've heard the presentation. I'm sure that we all have questions about what we read and what we saw and what we've heard tonight. Anybody who wants to go first? All right, the gentleman recognizes the gentle lady from the 4th District.
Thank you for all that information. What programs or what do we do different that seem to increase the math? That's a good thing.
It is, and it seems like the trend is we got new math standards 2 years ago, and the DOE aligned or recreated the learning plans, and we aligned our curriculum with those learning plans. I think the alignment is there. I think the standards brought a level of rigor that helped, which is a trend we hope will follow with these new ELA standards.
Right.
And that is a trend across the state. ELA kind of flat, but math went up across the state.
Well, bravo to that. Thank you.
Yes.
All right. Miss, the gentle lady of the 5th, you're recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Brown. Thank you, Ms. Sims. I think everyone in the room knows that I'm on a mission. My new initiative is reading, because everyone in the room knows that if a student at the end of 3rd grade is on track, he or she will be successful, have a better chance of being successful. Although we did raise it 4 points, and Dr. Warren and several of us went to Marietta. I don't think you were in this position when we talked about the reading specialist, bringing reading specialists in. I know Marietta City Schools has an abundance of data that they're willing to share with us, and how and when they did what they did. I don't even know if you were around or heard. Dr. Rivera spoke to us last December in Atlanta at our GSBA conference.
Mm-hmm.
They had 1,000 kids that were not on track, and in 1 year they reduced that list of 1,000 down to, they got 400 on level. They closed those gaps.
Wow.
In 1 year.
Wow.
And Dr. Warren can spend some time with you perhaps in the future about what we learned when we visited Marietta City Schools, because we all know that if kids can read, number one, I saw one of their board members in Savannah in June, and she told me that attendance is better, discipline is down, parents are more engaged. I mean, all the positives that the benefits that we can reap from getting a child on level at the end of 3rd grade. My question is, how are we going to think outside the box to ensure students at the end of third grade to be on level? I'm not blaming anyone in this room. I'm not blaming what we've done in the past. It's not a blame game. I'm recognizing as a board member and a former educator myself that 52% of our third graders are not reading on level.
Right.
Unacceptable. I think everyone in the room would agree with that, not blaming you or anyone in this room.
Right.
What are we going to do? And
So-
I don't need an answer tonight.
Okay.
I'm not going to put you on the spot that way. Number one, it's not fair.
Well, we do have some things I can tell you right out of the bat that we are doing that are a little bit different this year. So we've always had an intervention block, but this year that intervention block, we're going to be using it to drive data instruction for those small groups. Sometimes maybe those small groups weren't as focused as they needed to be, but the XOs and Dr. Gershon are going to be working with the instructional coaches and the teachers to use data. That instruction has to be used to target how far a child may be behind so we can actually move that child and do it differentiated by those small groups. That there is an increased focus on that this year through the XOs and teaching and learning. So that is one of the tools that we're going to be using.
I appreciate that, and I know this situation is not going to, there is no easy fix, there is no quick fix. I mean, everyone in the room knows that. Everyone listening or watching knows that.
Right.
And I want it so badly. I know everyone in the room wants it badly, but a 4+4 game is unacceptable. And I think everyone in the room would agree with that too. That's my new initiative. I think as a board member, you have to have initiatives that you're working on. Previously for me, it was be sure kids are fed, because we all know that if kids are hungry, they're not going to learn.
Right.
And thankfully with Mr. Wheeler and his group and what we've been able to do for that, our kids are fed, and the data does show it with regard to what Mr. Loki and DXO told us tonight.
Yes.
So I'm just really concerned, and I hope moving forward we can, I don't know if we need reading specialists. I guess that would be a question too. I just know what Marietta City Schools did in 1 year, and I'm going to tell you, he got my attention at GSBA a year ago in December. So thank you so much. Appreciate you being here.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Brown.
You're very much so welcome. Gentlemen from the third, you got any questions? All right, Ms. Register? No? Okay. All right, hi, Ms. Sims.
Hello.
How are you?
I'm great.
Great. So just want to know, are there any gaps in the curriculum pacing guides that might impact mastery?
Our pacing guide is strong. I think where we need to support teachers is that some of the kids don't get it as quickly as maybe the pacing guide says they should. There again comes that small group instruction that's data driven so that they can get that in that intervention time but still continue in the curriculum guide. I feel like our pacing guide is good. We've gotten feedback from the DOE that it supports, it aligns, but the problem is you can't just keep moving on if kids aren't getting it. We've got to have something in place to catch when they're not getting it and not just keep moving on.
Yes, go ahead. You're recognized.
Thank you. That's exactly what I'm sitting here thinking about. I mean, that's where I believe, depending on the population you're trying to teach how to read, that we have to think outside the box. If that means we need more employees, then, to help those kids that, I mean, we've all experienced that. You just got to do it, but we also have to give them the opportunity to make the gains. And also, I'm sitting here thinking, how many of those children are chronically absent? I mean, I can't even remember the figure I read last week. Lindy, one of you guys may know this. With the Senate Bill 123, how many children in the state of Georgia are chronically not at school? I mean, it was astronomical number.
It impacts for sure.
So I would be curious to know, and I don't even know if this data is available, how many of our children that are below the 48th percentile are chronically not at school. I mean, I don't know what we can do about parents, and I was surprised to learn we only bus 59% of our kids. Is that what you said, Mr. Loki? 59%? Really? I was shocked. I thought it would be 70 or more. Yes. I was shocked with that. I think it's all part of the big puzzle, but I really would like to know, if it's possible, how many of these kids that are below reading level are chronically absent. I don't know. I'm just trying to think outside the box myself, sitting up here. So
That's a good question. Thank you.
but I appreciate everyone in this room that does the work on a daily basis. I appreciate all of you so much, because I know the work is hard. And I appreciate you, Ms. Sims. I really do, and I thank you for taking my questions. Thank you, Mr. Brown.
All right, thank you so much. All right, back to me. How well, no problem, you good, so. How well does our benchmark assessment mirror the format and rigor of Georgia Milestones?
So our unit assessments do not.
They do not, okay.
They are put in Master Connect, but they're not taken online. Beacon, our benchmark assessments, are taken online. In my opinion, those need to be given to give students practice to take the milestones, because some of them, that's the first time they'll be on a platform like that to mirror taking the milestones.
So in effect, they said they do not. As the Executive Director of Teaching and Learning, what are your plans moving forward for that to implement?
So, I'm sorry, I might have miscommunicated. I thought the unit assessments are not electronically done.
Okay.
Was that the question? Only Beacon is electronically done.
Okay, so only Beacon is taken online?
Yes.
Okay. All right. And then the next question is, I always get people that send in questions when test scores come in.
Yes.
One question is there any comparative data for our special education population?
We do. We have worked closely with our special education, particularly at our designated schools. We meet monthly and review data. We have driven that into our district plan of support for our ATSI schools, TSI schools, which a lot of those processes are being followed at all of the schools for their special ed groups. So when we do those monthly meetings, we have the same unit assessments that regular kids take. We compare that with SWD, and then we also compare our iReady data with both comparative groups.
Okay. I have another one that came in to me on Instagram. The question is, what do you contribute to the growth of the UVA schools?
I think they had targeted, Mr. Loki, I know you can speak, working with Mr. Loki, we worked at those together, but they had a plan and they followed it and they got support with that plan along and along. They had a lot of training. And I think the support of our, not only UVA, but all of our designated schools, they receive daily, weekly, people are in those schools monitoring, providing feedback. But I think at UVA, the 90-day plan, staying on target, those strategies were really beneficial for them.
Thank you. We know that there are some gaps, and we got some stuff we got to work on. So can you speak of some of the interventions that our struggling scholars are doing?
So the differentiation for the intervention block, that is new this year. We've also adopted Go MTSS, which is how we're going to be doing some of our MTSS Tier 1, Tier 3 procedures, a better platform to track that progress so that we can track, is that progress monitoring being done? Are they meeting weekly? Are they moving students out of tiers? Like, don't move me to Tier 2 and leave me there all year. Like, that's going to help us monitor that practice a lot better. Other interventions are each content quarter, and Dr. Greer and her team have gone out to each school to talk to the schools about what do you need. So in the past, maybe we did blanket PL, like we're all going to do OG. But now they're going in and they're talking about specific things. What does your school need? How can I help your school? With also an increased focus on building the instructional coach to be able to serve that school better.
And I guess, is there going to be more, I don't want to say more PLC or PD for our for our science teachers, but are we going to really focus in on those science standards and provide more support?
So I spoke with Dr. Muhammad this morning, and they are going to continue the cadres for, she said, 5th and 8th grade. And then Dr. Enderle is going to continue to come from Georgia State to work with 8th grade new teachers to
Okay.
try to get them the content knowledge gaps is what they'll be focusing on.
Great. And a question just came in from Facebook. It says, you mentioned that, it said, has Beacon been removed for this year? If so, why? And will the district be using it this year again or so?
So my intent is for them to do that. Right now, our assessment calendar, it's optional. But in looking at, and talking with Dr. Greer, we're going to see if we can put that back on the books for Beacon to be given to all schools. Because again, it gives us great data, and it also provides that opportunity for kids to take it in the same format as the milestones. So it's like a practice. So it's not the first time they see those tools and everything in the platform when they take the milestones, particularly a third grader.
All right. Are there any other questions that other board members may have? Go ahead, Ms. McDonald.
Thank you, Mr. Brown. You know, I was sitting here thinking about our last time we were here with the UVA update, and our 5 principals were here. Ms. Douglas is here tonight. I don't see of any other UVA principal in the room, but what I remember from their speaking to us was the synergy they created, and you spoke to this just a second ago. What they learned from the UVA process is to collaborate, and then, as if I understood it correctly, then the 5 UVA schools within and of themselves collaborate. Am I right in what, Ms. Douglas? Is that pretty much a synopsis of the 5 principals that spoke to us last time we were here? So something's working. I mean, with more, that's phenomenal. I mean,
Yes.
truly.
Yes.
Something's working.
It is, and I think, you know, when Mr. Loki talked, that the goal is that they would be able to sustain and bring those practices to other schools, and that we
Correct.
wouldn't even need UVA because those practices would be sustained here as part of our practices.
I think that's where I'm headed with this. Will there be an opportunity or the possibility of those 5 schools helping other schools with regard to what they have learned, how they collaborate within their own building, and share that knowledge with other schools that are struggling in 1 or 2 areas?
I think that certainly would be something that could be. Do you want to?
Would that be hard to do, Mr. Loki? Don't say no.
I won't say no.
Just kidding.
I think what we're talking about here is an alignment with the 90-day action plans, with the school improvement plans, and for many of our designated school, a short-term action plan. There's a lot of plans we have there, though, but with UVA, that process would be able to, all schools could have a 90-day action plan, so that is something that we could definitely do. Now, when you start talking about the extra support, we would have to look at that, you know, as to how we would offer that extra support, you know, the designated subs for the day, the UVA designated job fairs and that sort of thing. But we really, we're proud of our UVA schools, but I think you mentioned the most important thing is they were working collaboratively together. And that's something that we could do with the UVA model, but without UVA. We've already learned that.
Right.
And you know, that's something that we really want to do is sustain those activities.
Well, it sounds like, I mean, that would be a great thing to implement because of what we heard from the people in the trenches every day from the 5 principals that do that on a daily basis.
Yes, ma'am. I agree with you. And you know, it was also the professional learning that was offered through Paul Bambrick Santoya and data-driven instruction. That is something that all schools could use.
Right.
And when she talks about the formative assessments and then using that data in our leadership team meetings, that's something that all schools can do for
Very
student
good.
improvement.
All right. Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you both.
Are you good, Ms. McDonald? You good. All right, thank you. There are no other questions. Thank you so much, Ms. Sims. All right. Next up on the agenda is, all right, Money Bag Yo.
Y'all done saved me for
July
last. Y'all done
2025
got
DOE
tired.
financial report.
All right, thank you, Mr. Chairman. Good evening, board members. This is the first month of the fiscal year, and I'll just remind you, we have until September 30th approximately to finish out our Department of Education entries, submit final financials. So some of this stuff is just estimates at this point. 39 million, close to 40 million in fund balance. We're still making entries that will affect that balance for general fund. About 3.6 million for nutrition. Again, this is as of July 31st. On the general fund side, operating statement about 2 million in revenue, 3.7 in expense. Again, we have a lot of salary expenses that we reverse in and out in the month of July. And the revenue, obviously, we're not collecting many taxes, so that's expected to be negative at this point in the year. That will self-correct some when we start sending tax bills out, et cetera. Special revenue funds, page 3. Again, there's not going to be any revenues right now because we're waiting on those budgets for the Department of Education, Title I, et cetera, to be approved. So we do have some basic spending of materials, but not any revenue at this point. On nutrition, just a little bit of summer feeding revenue, 43 grand for the month of July. He's still paying salaries, et cetera, so he's going to have 200,000 in expense. 160 to the negative right now. That's to be expected. Page 5 on our investment funds, about 109.5 million that we're investing. We're still getting 4.36% on that money, so that's still an awesome percentage at this point that's still held. And we just completed the final month of year 1 of SPLOST 7. It came in at close to 1.3 million. So 14.6 million is approximately what we collected in year 1 of SPLOST 7. Again, this stuff used to average 750,800 when I first got here, so that's remarkable. That Spalding County is getting supported with those revenues. So, Mr. Chairman, that completes my report.
All right, thanks so much. Are there any questions from the board to Mr. Jones? No? Mr. Holmes, no questions? Finance? Okay, all right, thanks. Okay. All right, information item, nothing is there. All right, governance team comments. Are there any comments from the governance team at this point? Nope. All right, we do have executive session. Ms. O'Neill, we got anything for executive session? No? All right, cool, no executive session. Woohoo. Adjournment, what's the pleasure of this body as it relates to adjournment?
So moved.
All right, thank you. Seconded by Ms. Weldon of the 4th. Any discussion? All those in favor, raise your right hand. 5-0, meeting is adjourned.